So in this video, I just want to go over some of the cool things that R does. So I've just opened up R there, and if I look at that, it's got all these things we've created in the past few videos. They're all there. Now, if I close down R, it comes up saying, "Do I want to save the workspace image?" Now that comes up every time. It asks you what this workspace image, it asks you if you want to do it. Now, it's great that it prompts you because you can choose to yes, save it, or no, don't save it. In general, I say, yeah, always save it. Obviously, if there's a data thing, object, function that is huge, maybe I won't want to save it or put it elsewhere or something like that, so I don't, I won't save it. Or if I just want to open something up and check something quickly, then I don't save it. So for example, as I've been making these videos, every now and then I would check something just before to make sure I got the syntax right, and I didn't want the file to be there previously, so I wouldn't save it. So I'll just go ahead and don't save it. Now I mentioned briefly there that R saves these things somewhere, but not necessarily how you might think. So if I just show you where I am, this is my terminal. And if any of this confuses you, just ignore it. So I'm basically saying, okay, show me all files in my home directory that have got R somewhere in the name. And you see there's the .r.out, .rdata, and .rhistory. They're the two I want us to talk about now. The reason they start with a dot is that they're basically hidden files on a Unix system. You might actually see them on a Windows system. In all honesty, I don't know if you looked into there. Now, if we looked at R data. So vim is just a command that's a text editor. If we looked at R data, that doesn't mean anything, okay? But in there is encoded all the objects, all the functions, all the data frames that get loaded up automatically when I load up R. So if I just load up R, they're all there. Okay, so that's kind of what R does. Also, if I press up on here, it's remembered all my commands, remembered all my history, all things that I've been putting in. So, and all that information is saved in .rhistory, so it remembers your commands. Now that's really nice, to be honest, to have. You can have all things you did at R. Obviously, it saves in that .rdata and .rhistory files. So if you find those two files, you can take them with you and keep your image. I like that it prompts you at the end because, as I said, you can choose not to remember it, or you can do .saveImage. And if you just do save.image, not .saveImage, save.image without any command, it just saves your image in your working directory. So it just updates your .rdata and your .rhistory. But you can also save your image to a particular path. So for example, I could save my image to desktop, etc., and say that's where I want to put the image. Another thing we want to do is scripts. So throughout this, I've been interchangeably writing code here and writing code there. Let me just get rid of that. Now that's all fine, and a lot of people just work here and constantly just highlight it and send it over, but you're not actually doing anything clever there. You're literally just copying the code and pasting it over. But what you can do is write a script, and by a script we mean something that you might want to run, routinely. So you might have a script that routinely analyzes a data set, and you can just get it to do that as soon as you change that data set and things like that. So here is a little script, not doing anything too complicated. Now if I just run that in here, it does all those things that we expect it to do. What I'm actually going to do is save this file. Save desktop, and I'm going to call it first script.r. Now if I now close it and I open that, it opened in a text editor, but now if I say open document, first script.r, I can now run it the same way. But again, as I said, that's not doing anything clever. It's nice if you like to run your code like that. But what's actually very powerful is you never need to look at that file again. You never need to look at that file again, and you can, for example, use this source command. So source, and now just go to the file, desktop, first script.r. And if we run that, then it's actually doing something clever. It's not actually just copying and pasting code, it is just outputting what you normally output. So if I didn't have those print statements in there and instead I had some read.csv, etc., I could just pull that in. And if you're familiar with command line, which is what I was messing about with here, you don't even have to open up the GUI to do that. There's some commands to just go and pull an R script and do that. But we won't go into that in this video.